Hi ladies and gentlemen, it's Mr. Green again. It's time for another video dealing with Algebra 1. We've been looking at linear equations and dealing with those with two variables and things like that. So have you ever wondered how linear equations can be used in real life? I mean, is there any kind of an example where this is used? Well, this is kind of an older example. It's when cell phones were just coming out. They used to charge us a flat fee and then a number of minutes, a dollar rate or cents per minute of equation. Well, that worked great. Now they actually give you that flat fee and the number of gigabytes that you might be using of data. So it's just a matter of different way of doing it, but it's the same sort of thing. It's a real life situation in which you would have to model a real life situation with a linear equation. Okay? So we're going to look at writing and graphing some equations given the real life situation. So one of the things you're going to hear a lot about is standard form. Standard form is the standard way of writing a linear equation. It looks like this right down here. Ax plus by equals c. Okay? But that's not the one that we typically get when we're trying to graph. When we're trying to graph, we usually use something like the slope-intercept or the point-slope form. We don't have that one right here. What we've got is we're trying to show you how to get from the slope-intercept form down to the standard form to show you that they're the same equations. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this equation right here, y equals 3x plus 4. If I subtract the 3x from both sides, I get negative 3x plus y is equal to 4. Now, to be in standard form, I'd actually multiply it by negative number, negative 1, so that I would have 3x minus y equals negative 4, because this a has to be a positive number, and that would be my standard form. I just now took a slope-intercept form and turned it into a standard form equation. Okay? That's one of the things you're going to be asked to be able to do, is to take those and put them in standard form. Okay? Why? Well, if I'm given an equation in standard form like this one right here, the easy thing to do is to find the x-intercept and the y-intercept. Let me show you how. If it intersects this x-axis here, that means it doesn't go up, right? It doesn't go up the y any. That means y would be equal to 0. So if y is equal to 0, what am I going to get? I'm going to get 2x is equal to 6. Why? Because 3 times 0 is going to give me 0. And if I divide by 2, x is going to be equal to 3. My x-intercept in this situation is going to be at the point 3, 0, because I'm going to go over 3 and not up any. It's right there, 3, 0. Okay? Well, what about the y-intercept? Y-intercept's just as easy. If it's a y-intercept, that means we don't go right or left any, right? Well, that means that we're going to be having x equal to 0. If x is equal to 0, we'll get 2 times 0, which is 0. We'll get 3y equals 6. Divide by 3, y is equal to 2. Guess what? 0, 2. That would be my y-intercept, 0, 2. Right there. I now can graph this equation in standard form by going from here to there and drawing a line. That easy. Okay? Easy peasy. Okay? All you got to remember, x-intercept, y is equal to 0. Y-intercept, x is equal to 0. So, we're going to be dealing with that standard form. We've got to know how to use it. So I want to give a little bit of practice here. Finding the x and the y-intercepts of the standard form equation. So here's the standard form equation. If I want to find the x-intercepts and the y-intercepts, I'm going to put them in two different columns here. Okay? X-intercepts, that means y equals 0. If y is equal to 0 in this first one, I'm going to get 2x is equal to 10. That means that x is equal to 5, and my y-intercept is going to be at 5, 0. My x-intercept is going to be at 5, 0. If I'm doing the same thing for y, I'm going to have that x equal to 0, right? And that means I'm going to have 5y is equal to 10 divided by 5. Y is equal to 2. So I'm going to have the point 0, comma 2. These aren't that difficult. Let's try a couple more here. Let's see here. The number 3, this one here. So in this one, I'm making y is equal to 0. I'm going to have negative 2x is equal to 14. X is going to be equal to negative 7. And so I'm going to have negative 7, comma 0. Okay, let's do the same, the y-intercept this time. Make x equal to 0. That's going to give me 0 plus 7y is equal to 14 divided by 7. Y is equal to 2. Hey, I got 2 again. 0, comma 2. That makes sense? Let's try it with this last one down here. We're going to have x, or y is equal to 0. We're finding the x-intercepts here. Okay? So y is equal to 0. So that's 4x is equal to 8. X is equal to 2. So I'm going to have 2, comma 0. That's going to be my x-intercept. For my y-intercept, I'm going to have x equal to 0. I'm going to have minus 5y is equal to 8. Y is going to be equal to 8 over 5. Negative 8 over 5. That's a valid point. So 0, comma negative 8 over 5. That's the location it'll be at. Okay? So let's try a couple of these down here, which say to write each equation in standard form. Okay? Standard form. That means I need to move the x onto the other side. So I'm going to add 7 over 3x to both sides of this equation. And what am I going to get? I'm going to get 7 over 3x plus y is equal to 5. Now, 7 over 3 is not an integer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull a trick. I'm going to multiply the whole thing by 3. It's the same as multiplying both sides of the equation by 3, but I just multiply everything by 3 at one time. Okay? Well, 3 divided by 3 gives you 1, so I'm going to wind up with 7x. 3 times y is going to give me plus 3y. And then 3 times 5 is going to give me 15. Ta-da! Okay? Do the same thing on the second one. We got a positive 5 over 6, so I'm going to subtract 5 over 6x from both sides. And what am I going to wind up with? I'm going to wind up with a negative 5 over 6x plus y equals negative 7. Now I'm going to do the same thing, except I'm going to pull a little bit different trick. I'm going to multiply by negative 6. Why negative 6? Well, the 6 divided by 6 is going to give you a 1, but the negative and the negative will give me a positive, so it'll be a 5x that I get out of that one. The negative 6 times the y will be minus 6y. Okay, and the minus 6 times the minus 7 will give me a positive 42. 6 times 7, 42. Cool? That's it. That's how you convert them to standard form. There's your standard form there. There's your standard form there. We found each one of the intercepts there. Okay? Hopefully this will help. If you're confused, now's the time to come to tutoring. Don't wait. Come now, because we're getting close to the end of the semester. We want to make certain you understand this, okay? This is important. These are some of the types of things you're going to be seeing on the EOC test, and you need to make certain you know how to solve these type of problems and get good answers, okay? Okay, well, I'll talk to you next time then.